The goal of these is for you guys to be able to speak directly to me. We can make changes quickly. We can build this platform to really help you guys out. So any feedback you guys have as I'm going through this, feel free to share. I ask that you guys are brutally honest with me, where if there's anything that you think is wrong with the platform, anything you want to see added to the platform, you share it. If you think the fees are ridiculous, if you think the platform is slow, if you think your account manager sucks, they might be in here listening, but just please be honest, please share everything. And this is really how we're going to make this platform better. Um, Nicholas says, any new sales channels coming this month or Q4? Yeah, we got a one. I'll announce it at the end of this as a thank you for you guys to tuning in today. We'll go over some of the new platforms, some of the new updates coming to the platform. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. Ethan's iPhone says, Knet B2B is great. Well, great. That's good to hear. We'll talk about B2B a little bit here. Vince says. Vince says offer button on B2B, please. Yes, this is also something that's being worked on actively. What's up, Taehong? Jack D says, I love Fong and Chester. Just to throw that out there. That's good to hear. I promise to relay back. Look at that. Chester's here. Chester's here as well. All right, Vince, last question, then I'm gonna get going. We got a good number of people in here. Wait for the platform to populate the tracking for reshipments. We don't have to reach out to account managers to get that. Yes, that is a commonly asked feedback. We will add that. Can we add Crocs to the sourcing search? Yeah, if it's a SKU that we've had in our system before, it'll show. If it's a SKU that we don't have in our system, we don't have it in our database, it won't show. That's just the way we do our SKU management. So there should be Crocs. Like if you search for Lightning McQueen Crocs, they should come up. Okay, guys, it is 7:03. I want to get this going. I don't want to take up too much of your time. The goal is for this to be as effective as possible and straight to the point with you guys. My guess is that most of you guys are candidate sellers already, so I don't want to spend too much time going through the platform details. I think most of you guys already know what the platform is, how it works, what the benefits are, etc. I won't waste my time on this. The focus is going to be on a couple key details that we notice holistically across the platform. People are either doing wrong or maybe not doing the best way they could be. We're going to focus on these things. We'll talk a little bit strategy going into Q4. We'll talk about B2B. We'll talk about auto pricing strategies, repricing strategies. We'll talk about wholesale sourcing. We'll talk about how we read the charts, read the data, what the prep looks like for Q4, and then new sales channel, new features coming Q4, and then also going into 2026. And then we're going to close off with Q&A as always. This time, though, we're bringing in a special guest, one of our candidate sellers. He's a seven-figure candidate seller. He'll be coming on. You guys can ask questions to him. I think it's one thing to hear from me, but it's another thing to hear from someone who's using the product, who's in the same boat as all of you guys, who's actively using the platform. Not that I'm not, but someone who's in your shoes. So yeah, Erica says Shopify sales channel. We'll talk about that for 2026 stuff. Okay, so we're gonna start out very quick platform demo. I promise. Ethan told me to keep it under 1 minute, so that's gonna be my goal. So essentially, again, if you're new here, what Canada is, it's cross-system fulfillment for sneakers. So you're ordering directly to our warehouse, sales tax free. We receive, we QC, and we'll talk about QC. I know maybe you guys have some qualms with how strict our QC is. We receive, we QC, comes to your inventory. You can filter to available plus qualified. You can add your cost, your source, etc. Select bulk operation cross list. When you click cross list, it's going to pull up with all the different sales channels. It will default at lowest ask for all of them. Again, I won't spend too much time. The benefits of cross listing, you're selling three, if not four, if not five times now, faster than you would single sales channel. You're also selling for higher. You see the payout on KNet channel and Kickscrew is 76. The payout on StockX and Surge and Goat is only 65, 66, right? So you're listing on every channel. It automatically deals once it sells. I'll run through how I do my pricing. So auto pricing, right? This will automatically match or automatically undercut lowest ask on every platform, and you can set it down to your minimum payout. So if I do this, let's say I set this at $70, enable auto pricing, you can see it'll jump up, so it won't list for under my minimum payout. It'll undercut lowest down to my minimum payout, and then it'll stop. It won't go any lower. The one thing I also want to call out, which I think, and I'll come back, I'll re-enter the uh the page. But I think one thing people aren't doing that we've seen people not be able to do or not know that they should be doing is starting out with bulk price change. And let me know in the chat if you guys use this or knew about this or if you think it should be changed. So right now, the way it works is auto pricing is reactive, meaning it'll only undercut when someone undercuts you. But starting out, it won't drop you $1 below the current lowest. So what you need to do, if you want to start out at the lowest price without waiting for someone to undercut again, you go bulk price change, liquidate, confirm, undercut lowest across all the sales channels. What this does, it drops the price. So now you're undercutting every channel by one. Then you go back in bulk auto pricing, undercut lowest, minimum payout, $70. Okay. It'll go back up for the channels that are below. But it won't undercut the initial prices unless you use the bulk price change. So let me know, guys, in the chat if you guys are using this, if you think it's confusing. There's an argument that we should just make it to where you turn on bulk auto pricing. It'll automatically undercut. It'll do the bulk trade price change first, then it'll turn on the auto pricing automatically for you guys. But let me know what you guys think. This is something we can go over later as well. Um, Spencer says huge time save would be to have eBay auto price similar to B2B. Yes, I agree. I agree actually. We'll go through B2B pricing as well. No problem, Alan. Yeah, see, Vince says I didn't even know that. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little confusing. This is why we're doing this. Again, I always go bulk price change first, liquidate. This will undercut the initial price by a dollar, then turn on bulk auto pricing, undercut lowest, minimum payout. And then for this, we can talk about this a little bit later. Depending on the skew, usually if the skew, the market's high, the volume is high, I'll set this a little bit higher. People always ask what my strategy is. Once I've kind of burned through a skew, like this skew, if you guys bought into this, you know it was good. Markets come down a little bit, and so we're kind of at the tail end of this skew. And so I'm okay with like I'll put minimum at my cost, and I'm just going to burn through the rest of this. And when I look at a buy holistically, I'm going for the average, right? So I bought I think the 2,000 something of these, burned through them all. The remaining pairs, I'm okay to break even. Even if I'm losing like $2, I'm just trying to cycle the cash, right? I'm trying to get to the next buy. And I think this is something that a lot of not even candidate sellers, but just resellers in general, focus too much on the margin, focus on the cash flow, focus on the turnover, get the shoes gone. And I'll apologize to anyone who I've undercut on this skew or any of the skews that we're selling, because we'll sell the shoe. So sorry, guys. Yeah, Spencer says generationally cooked. Is that all your in your cost listed or before shipping? This is all in. This is the real cost, by the way. This is how much I paid for the shoe. This is a demo account, but it's real inventory. We put real inventory in it so we can actually show you. Yeah, it's a good buy. I have more coming. I have another 1,000 coming in September. So, um, yeah. Just if you have this skew, just I'm gonna undercut you. I apologize. Definitely a mindset change, but once you make it, it's a game changer. Yeah. Once you stop getting emotional with your buys and you start understanding, just look at the numbers, it it totally changes the game for you. But anyways, I'm already over a minute. Ethan told me to keep it a minute for this. Submit, it's gonna list. It'll list on every platform all at once. You don't have to do it manually. You don't have to do it one by one. And then you can manage your listings and cross listings. You can deactivate. You can edit the prices, etc. Whatever you need to do. You can delist, bulk price change. What I'll call out here is this quick price edit function. So this is specifically for B2B. And Spencer, it's a good recommendation. Ethan, if you want to take note, or whoever's in this on the team, take note. Quick price edit. What this allows you to do is bulk edit the price of the entire SKU for Canaan B2B. So rather than having to go size by size, and if you guys sell or buy B2B, you know it's usually one price for the entire SKU, or at least something close to that. Maybe it's one price for 8 through 10, one price for 10.5 through 13. You can set the price on a SKU level up here. So you could set it to just $70, apply to all, or you can set it on a SKU plus size level. So if you want to list all the size 7, all the size 6 at 65, and then all the 7.5, 8.5, the money size at 85 or whatever, you can do it here. So for this one, I'll just put it at I'll put it at 75, apply to all. You can see that B2B price, again, no fees, no seller fees on B2B, confirm, and then it's changed on Canaan B2B. I'd encourage everyone, this is a big push. Your account managers, I promise, or I should hope that they'll be pushing you guys Q4 to get your listings up, specifically on eBay, TikTok, and Canaan B2B. We have goals that we've set for the account managers to get listing counts up on all three of these platforms The reason why we want people to get listings up is because they're extremely powerful, and we're ramping up B2B pretty quickly. I don't know if you guys are getting sales on it yet, but if you have listings up on B2B, their sales are coming in. We're making a big push this Q4 to get these numbers up. So if you haven't listed everything on eBay, which we just did a whole revamp on our eBay system. The sales have like tripled. I think we're like maybe 4x what they were before. So eBay has been pushing TikTok. I think we've talked about on every single summit before, so I'm not gonna maybe I'll spare you guys from hearing about it again on this one. And then Candid B2B again, which is the brand new sales channel. We're selling to store owners, we're selling to other wholesalers, and surprisingly, there's a lot of Candid sellers who are buying on it as well. And apparently, there's a lot of arbitrage just on Candid, buying on Candid and selling on Candid. So yeah, Ethan's saying I'm buying B2B now. Yeah, the fact that you guys are buying on it is pretty cool. Anyways, once it sells, it'll delist from the other platforms. We'll ship it out. Everything goes out the same, if not next business day. And then platforms pay us, we pay you. You buy some more shoes, and you're good to go. Okay. So this is the quick run through. Again, if anyone has any specific questions, any specific suggestions you have on the platform, we can hit that in the Q&A section later on. But again, we have a nice size audience today, so I wanna make sure that this is effective. We're gonna talk about B2B real quick. I know I just mentioned it here with the pricing for B2B, but I can show you guys what the buying site looks like if you haven't seen it already. So this is what the customers see, b2b.candidgroup.com. Some of you might already have buying accounts, but it's a separate account. So you can create a buying account. If you want to buy on it, you can reach out to your account manager. What I'll say is uh, the goal is for this to be specifically for store owners, not necessarily primarily candidate sellers, just arbitraging. But right now, because it's so new and maybe some listings are not optimized, you might be able to find some arbitrage. But essentially, you can come on here, you can filter by brand, you can filter by size, by price, by quantity, and then you can come over here. You can sort by highest, this one's already sorted, by highest quantity to lowest. As you can see, what stuff is getting pushed out. When you click into a SKU, so we can look at these Cave Stone Forest, you'll see the different price ranges by size as well as the total units. And when you click on this, you'll see the breakdown of what prices are which quantity. So again, maybe there's two candidate sellers who are listing this at 186. There's 17 pairs from one candidate seller who's got it listed at 204. So they can purchase, if they purchase two pairs from here, three pairs from here, you can see it starts to average out 196.80 here. On the site, we show StockX go lowest. I think at least when I'm buying, that's what I'm looking at. So we'll put it here for the buyer, and then they can purchase in bulk, add to cart, and then just buy now and check out. Ignore this balance. This is the admin account. So this is B2B. This is where your inventory goes when you list on B2B. It's getting pushed out. We're building out the sales team who is sending out lists of your shoes as well as ours every day to store owners, to wholesalers, the people who are really buying at higher prices in this game, the people who can afford to buy at higher prices, the guys who aren't just selling on StockX to go, they're selling to the end consumer. Right, so there's a lot of opportunity getting your listings up on B2B. Right now, the stat is, if you guys are curious, uh, the stat, I believe it's like 45% of items that are listed on B2B, which is, there's no reason for it not to be listed on B2B. So go through, it's worth it, especially for the SKUs where you have high stock or the SKUs that you think store owners would be interested in. So think Yeezys, think Jordan 4s, think even like recently some Samba styles, some handball styles, etc. Make sure that these are listed on B2B. And the same thing, make sure they're listed on eBay. And if you have any qualms with the eBay max price or the payout, the lowest price, feel free to message your account manager and we can make the adjustments on the back end. It's all manual, the eBay pricing. We have a team who's literally just doing eBay pricing. So yeah, make sure to go through and clean those up. John says, had an Air Force One selling B2B. Yeah, there, I mean, some of you guys I'm sure have had, you buy like 500 pairs of one SKU, it sells all at once on B2B, which is pretty incredible. Someone's asking about what sells on eBay. If you go to our Discord, or your account manager should send it out in the email every week, you can see our sales data and you can filter by sales channel. So you can see specifically what sold on which sales channels at what prices. So leverage that data, look at that data. That would be my recommendation. The last thing that I'll mention here, and this is specifically about TikTok Shop, but things that are coming for this platform. right now, if you guys have sold through the platform where you're selling on TikTok right now, you'll understand that right now to sell, there's only a certain amount of SKUs that are approved. And if you don't have that SKU already mapped, you have to come here, you have to click request new SKU, and then it has to get listed. Then you have to go and list it, right? I understand this is a headache. So we're working right now is to map and list and create the products for every single SKU that's in the Knet system. So every single SKU that you have can be listed onto TikTok. This is something that we're working on. I don't have the exact timeline for you guys, but my hope would be in the next month or two, you'll be able to list all your inventory rather than having to either just do selective SKUs or have to request a new SKU and submit like 20 SKUs and wait for them to get listed. I know this is it's a huge block for people when they're selling on TikTok, and I feel your pain because again, I sell myself and having to wait for I gotta wait for this stuff to get added as well. I'm with you guys. Um, so yeah, this will be huge for TikTok. Again, I want to reiterate for Q4, I want to encourage everyone to price correctly, but also to get your listings up on eBay, on TikTok Shop, and on B2B. So yeah, that's my ask, but also my recommendation to you guys for this Q4. Um, Let me take a look at the notes real quick. Is B2B global? Yes, it is. It's focused right now on US, but we have some customers overseas as well. And we're gonna keep expanding it. So yeah, let's see. Okay, Ethan's saying defect items. Okay, this is a big one. Let me know in the chat if you guys are if you guys hate our QC process, you feel it's too strict. I know a lot of people sometimes will complain about how strict our QC process is, right? We're marking it as damage box, as shoe with defect, etc. Right? Yeah, hella strict, very strict, strict. Yes. Okay. So here's tons of defects for things I can't see. Okay. So here's what I have to say to you guys is first, this is my fault. I'll take the full responsibility. I pushed the team to be pretty strict on the QC. Um, Jack says I like it strict, and then you make a final decision. Defect repair service. Yes. Okay. So we'll hit all of this. So first, I asked the team to make everything strict. And the reason why we have to be strict is everything we do depends on our relationships with platforms, right? And so we tend to err on the side of caution to make sure that we're maintaining our relationships with the platforms. And I think that you guys can appreciate that we have to protect our relationship with the platform. The second thing is that you can request for the QC to be changed. But what we want to avoid is to have something where it sells on StockX or it sells on whatever. It comes back as a defect or they failed the authentication for whatever reason, right? And then you guys are getting charged with this cancellation fee. And you come to us and you're like, yo, I thought you guys are supposed to QC. How did you miss this? I'm counting you guys to QC, right? And so we're gonna mark it, we're gonna flag it, we're gonna take the picture, we're gonna be a little bit stricter, right? If it's close, we have a team who can go back and review. If you submit to your account manager, say, hey, I want to change it. If it's a slightly damaged box, I won't say always, but most of the time we can change that. It's just there for you to know, right? If you want to make a decision, you want to say, hey, wherever I bought it from, like, hey, this is a damaged box. Like, let me get a partial, let me get a refund, whatever. It's there for you guys, right? The QC is like, I promise you, we don't want a bunch of defect or damaged box stuff in our warehouse. It's like the most inefficient thing we could optimize for. It's optimized for you guys to avoid the cancellations, to avoid the failed authentications, right? This is what it's there for. So again, if you disagree with it, feel free to request it from your account manager. What I'll say is almost none of the shoe with defect or almost none of the badly damaged boxes will change. But I mean, we're reviewing thousands and thousands of pairs each day. And so like I'll admit we're not going to be 100% perfect 100% of the time. And so if there's something where you feel like it's probably you can probably pass that, specifically if it's box damage, feel free to submit it either on the portal or to your account manager directly, and they can go in and they can make the change. They will review it, make sure it's actually a valid claim. But this is what I'll say on QC. If it actually is damaged, okay, if it's badly damaged, the box is smashed, or if there's a scuff on the shoe, a little bit of dirt on the shoe, whatever, we are working, and I know I've thrown it out there before. The hope is that we're within like 2 weeks of being able to fully launch the repair service. We've been doing it just manually so far. What I mean by launching the repair service is to go through and we're gonna have essentially have the team go through pretty much every defect, every badly damaged box pair that we have in all the warehouses. They're gonna scrape through them. They're gonna mark stuff as repairable and not repairable. If it's not repairable, these are things like a tear or a cut in the shoe, right? These are things that we can't fix, right? It's like if it's a special box and the box is shredded, we don't have a replacement box. We can't fix it. There's nothing we can do. This is going to be unrepairable. Anything that's repairable, you'll be able to click. It'll be like some type of repair or tool icon on the portal directly next to the pair, and you're going to be able to submit for that. We can repair it. It would be a small repair fee. I don't know what the exact number is. I don't think we've settled on it yet. And we can clean off your dirt. We can go in with a wipe or whatever. We actually sent someone back to China just to study shoe repair because there's a bunch of like shoe repair factories and companies back in China. We got like the craziest setup. It's stuff I don't even know if we can show it. It's like all these crazy fancy chemicals. We got this guy on the team named Nick, who we call the shoe doctor, and he can repair almost anything. So if it's repairable, we'll be able to fix it for you. We have replacement boxes. If it's red Nike, if it's blue Adidas, we can swap those out for you, and we can swap the label on it so it'll pass apps. If it's a small hole in the box or something, we can tape it up for you. And essentially, all of the shoes that you guys have that are repairable, we can repair it for you. For anything that's not repairable, so if the shoe is really cooked, there's not much we can do. My recommendation would be to sell it through Whatnot. I have the shop pulled up. I don't recommend you guys to watch this, and I hate that this will even be associated with a brand. If you guys have gone on Whatnot or seen Whatnot sellers, you'll understand that it's a little bit different of an audience, different of a crowd. But we're building our Whatnot store, and the goal is for you guys to be able to liquidate your stuff that either is just dead, aged inventory that you just hate looking at, or it's stuff that's unsellable. You can't sell it anywhere else. You can submit it right now. Just go through your account manager. You can submit it to be sold on Whatnot. We'll sell it. We'll liquidate it for you. We have streams going up like 3 times, 4 times a week right now. So your shoes should sell that same week. And yeah, it's a good option for liquidation. I liquidated a bunch of my stuff that was just returns from platforms, which you guys actually don't have to worry about. But yeah, Whatnot, it's not that bad. AOV is like $35 right now. So pretty low, but if you're looking to just liquidate stuff, it's not a bad option. Okay. And again, as I'm going through this, if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions or any qualms or any issues or you hate the platform or whatever, feel free to drop it in the chat. I'm going to check our notes and just make sure I'm hitting everything. Um, Q4 strategy. Okay, yes. This Q4. So we set as a company, we have OKR as company-wide objectives. And for the internal buy and sell side, again, we're still our number one seller ourselves, our internal buy and sell. Um, one of our objectives is to essentially get rid of all our aged inventory. And so everything over 120 days, the goal is to sell it all by the end of Q4. This is the best time to liquidate. If you're thinking like, oh, the shoe's going to go up in price, I love you, but it's not going to go up in price. And so if you're on the fence, this is the time to clear stuff out. Where market's going to be hot, the market's a little bit more liquid. People are spending a little bit more. You can get a little bit higher for your shoes. So my recommendation to you guys, and this is something that I'm doing personally for my own buy and sell business, is to try and get rid of everything by the end of this year. The worst thing that can happen is we get to February and you still have a bunch of aged inventory that you just are unwilling to sell. So this is my recommendation to you guys. Again, it's something I'm making a focus for my own internal buy and sell for Q4. In the chat, is there a minimum quantity sent to repair center? Right now, I think the account manager is saying like, someone correct me if I'm wrong. I think like 50 pairs or 20 pairs or something like that. Once the function is live on the portal, there's gonna be no minimum. You can just do it for every single pair. And if it's only one pair, you can do it for one pair, and that's fine. So would you recommend sourcing for Whatnot yet? You can. You can if you want. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I would recommend it. But if you want to, feel free. We can also buy from you if you'd like. We can just cash you out on the stuff for Whatnot. We're still operating an internal buy and sell for Whatnot as well ourselves. So feel free to hit your account manager. They'll probably end up just hitting me. So I can take a look at the list, and if it's good, we can make something shake. Nick saying next day payout for sellers that's still on the table. Yeah, so the payouts, the way it works is once the platforms release the funds to us, then it automatically gets added to your portal. And for some of them, there's like a 1 to 3 day processing time. So sometimes there's a little bit of a delay. Nick, we're this is something that we're talking about probably next year is working on the payout cycles or cleaning stuff up. We're offering like advanced payouts. So even if StockX pays us, say on Saturday, if you sold the shoe on Thursday, being able to offer you this early payout, something like this, um, and then like we have like the inventories cloud, whatever, right? It's something that we're working on. We'll keep talking about. Keep asking every month if it doesn't get added, but it's something that we are talking about internally. Jack says, any chance we could see dark mode added? Yo, I am with you. I am with you. What I'll say is that the platform is still young enough to where there's a lot of like I'll say more useful features that we can prioritize right now in terms of stuff that will actually improve the seller experience, less just cosmetic, making it look prettier. But I promise you, the moment it makes sense to and it can be a priority, we will add dark mode. We had our design team already build out the mock-ups and everything. So everything's ready to go. Um, Ismail, I actually like the strict QC. Most of the time it's pretty accurate, and if I disagree, Follow My AM always takes care of it. Good. That's how we want it to be. Again, this is a decision that I've made, so if you're upset about it, please do not blame your account manager. You can be angry at me. I've pushed for strict QC. So just yeah, if you have issues with it, you can be angry at me. Um, Cash flow is overrated. Nice. Okay. Okay, Ethan's asking me to foreshadow new sales channel and then wrap up. He said I'm talking too long. Um, so new sales channel, the next sales channel that we'll be adding in is going to be Stadium Goods. And this is one that we've been selling on again, how we always do it. We'll start internal buy and sell. We'll test out the platform. We'll build up the account. We'll make sure everything's smooth. And then once it's good, we just integrate in priority of which sales channel is best. I think Stadium Goods, my take on it is it's good for cross listing. And what I say by this, what I mean by this is that something like TikTok is a channel where you're sourcing for the most part specifically for TikTok. And the stuff that you're sourcing for stocks and goat, which is really the bulk of what people use Canaan for, what people are sourcing for stocks and goat does not always align, right? Or maybe the price points vary. Stadium Goods is very much in line with what you're sourcing for StockX and goat. And so it's a phenomenal sales channel if you're sourcing for StockX or you're sourcing for GOAT specifically, to just cross list on Stadium Goods and get the extra sales, the same way for eBay, the same way for Kickscrew. These are great cross listing channels. I think Stadium Goods is the same thing. So yeah, we're excited about that. We're actually just pending the SG team in terms of integration. It'll probably be, they said the earliest that they can accept it is like mid to late October. They're switching up their system, so we have to wait on that. But should be here by like early November on the Knet portal. Would we eat returns or you guys? Um, still being talked about. I mean, for TikTok right now, we eat the returns. My my we're leaning towards just eating the returns. And then obviously there's going to be some type of percent markup just to account for that. But we'll probably handle the returns. Let's see. Breakdown of the seller tiers with different percent fees. Yeah, that's it's working on it right now to get added to the portal. Oh my gosh, a lot of questions. Okay. Alan saying any plans for West Coast warehouse, specifically Oregon? Probably mid to late 2026, likely. Can we get SG inventory transferred to KNet? I mean, you can right now. I think they charge some type of withdrawal fee or something. Maybe we can work something out. They're not going to be, they still want the inventory with them. So, yeah, maybe we can cover half the shipping or something, John. If you reach out to your account manager, we can help out with that. On the KNet app, can you add a feature you can delist items? Yes, eventually we'll build out the functionality for the KNet app. I think actually a lot of people don't even know we have an app. But you can use the app to check your sales, and that's pretty much it. Um, I love looking at it every day. Eventually we'll build the full functionality. What sort of GMV percent are you expecting Stadium Goods to make up as a whole, similar to eBay and Kickscrew? No, I'm going to say much higher than Kickscrew. Um, I'll say probably a little bit higher than eBay, but probably right around eBay. So if you think like, yeah, think of roughly around eBay sales for Stadium Goods. It's not going to be like the sales channel. Like I think StockX and Goat are obviously the heavy hitters. I think TikTok has become one of the heavy hitters. I think B2B is becoming one of the heavy hitters. And I think Stadium Goods is probably in the tier right below that. It would be nice if the undercut lowest is preloaded if you already said in the past. Yes, we will we're gonna switch. Someone actually recommended that the other day. We're gonna switch the default from match to undercut as a default because I think most people are using that. Um, okay. Is your buy and sell on SG already? Yeah, we're already we've been for our internal buy and sell. We've already been selling on SG since July 1st, I think we started. So not that long. Not that long. I think we're almost at the number one seller on SG already. Please add back the number of sold from search on Canada that can help for sourcing. It doesn't have to be accurate. Okay, this is good feedback. So if you guys remember on the price search tool, by the way, you can search by product name now. This was as of like Monday or Tuesday, I think. Let's say you're looking at the SKU. You can see lowest price payout right now. Before you used to see, and the data was scraped, which is why we took it off. It wasn't perfectly accurate because they didn't feed the data back to us. You can see historic sales data, so how many were actually sold. Um, Something it wasn't perfectly accurate. We took it off. We didn't want people to be upset if it's inaccurate. But if you guys want it, if enough people want it, which I'm not gonna lie, it sounds like people do. We can add it back in. Again, just it won't be perfectly accurate. I just want to put that out there. Um, cool. Okay. Yes, bring it back. Got it. Okay. I want that added personally. Got you. Got you. Got you. Got you. Okay. EB, what do you say? Q&A?
Yeah, it's
Let's do it. Okay. I'm sure you're number one. I feel like most sellers put back. You're probably going to save them from bankruptcy. I will neither confirm or deny that we've saving platforms from bankruptcy, but um, we're helping them. We're helping them. I'll tell you that much. All right, let me get Alex in here. Oh, there's a lot of people in here. Move to panelist. Okay. All right, guys. So we're gonna let a very special guest in here. One of our own sellers. One of our best candidate sellers. Alex. He's been selling on the platform for I want to say almost a year now, Alex.
Yeah, it started like late February.
Late February. Okay, so coming up on a year.
Yeah, coming up.
Um, Phenomenal seller. This is actually today was the first time I talked to Alex myself, but I always see Alex's name. I always hear his name coming up. So there's a lot that you guys are going to be able to learn from him. So we're going to start off. Alex, you can just briefly introduce who you are, kind of what you do with your store, because the story is pretty cool. And then, guys, if you have questions for Alex or you have questions for myself, we're going to just tag team this Q&A. So if you want to hear from a seller, if you want to hear from myself, feel free to just drop stuff in the chat, and we're going to try to hit as many as we can before 8 o'clock. So we got 25 minutes to burn through as many questions as we can. But Alex, if you want to start out with just a quick introduction, and then we can go from there.
Sure, yeah. So long story short, how I got into reselling was started as a hobby back when I could get two Yeezys, sell one, cover my other. Um, COVID came around, was doing some other stuff, making some money here and there, dried up, got back into shoes. I was asked to basically consign in a store with about four other people. So there was basically five of us selling out of the store. And then I was still selling through Instagram a lot, really focused on the online things because that's where all my heart has always been. I've really enjoyed, not having to deal with people essentially. It's just so much more scalable for me to sell 10 shoes in the store. It's a lot more work than it is for me to just list it with a couple clicks on my computer and to order it and source it. So then I opened my own brick and mortar about 2.5 years ago, still doing that. But again, heart has always been focused on the online side of things. It's just really so much more scalable and I really enjoy it. And it's really cool that KNet's come around for anybody who's been selling for years and has dealt with the cross listing and the repricing themselves. With a couple hundred pairs, it's not too bad, but you get to a few hundred or a couple thousand, it's quite the headache. So I've always dreamed of even building something like this myself. I never could do something like this, but being able to use it is super cool and has really um, saved me and made me a lot of money. So I'm happy that Dejan and his team have built this out, and they're really cool to work with. I'm happy to be a part of the team.
That's incredible. Can you run through quickly what like high level what your KNet business looks like? So kind of again not specifics, but high level where
Right.
you're sourcing, if it's OA, if it's wholesale, and then how you optimize your KNet listings, etc.
Yeah. So something pretty interesting that I think some people might find is I pretty much am 95% OA. I don't have really, I know some wholesale guys, but I really am an OA warrior. I'm really less picky. I do have a little more capital to work with, so I'm a little less picky, but I've been able to figure out what works for me. And I'm also a one person team. So I don't have any VAs right now sending me links or anything like that. But something I wanted to share was I think the only group I'm in is Viral Bricks. That's the only group I'm in. And how I've found the most success with sourcing, because I feel like that's all everybody wants to know. The selling part is easy, right? We have KNet for that. You literally list it, and it's basically like it's sold already, if you do your buying right. But one thing I wanted to share was Dejan's mentioned this before, but the most success I've had is not by the links themselves, but it's the other stuff on the same sites. Like you said before, there's never just one product on the site. There's so much more. And sometimes I'll literally click the link, not even worry about that SKU because I know 300 other people are on it right now, and much less will get tanked as soon as it gets there, right? So go through and search the whole catalog. I promise you'll find other stuff, and that's how I've found my most success. And something else I wanted to share too, especially when you have even like a little lower capital, is one, don't get super buy hungry and like you're just bored and you want to feel something. So you go out and start buying just a bunch of random stuff. I'm still guilty of it, it dries up a little bit. Don't do that. Instead, kind of prepare for the seasons for when you'll spend. Best example of this is holidays. There are endless sales. I still don't have enough money to spend as much as I want on the holiday sales. So really hold out and just wait to make the right decisions. It's easier said than done, but that's something I'd recommend. Another tip I have would be write down all that, like starting tomorrow, as soon as you do any OAs or you make an OA purchase, write down that site you made and write any notes with it. Like example, averages out to about $3 shipping, or use this code for free shipping. They cancel orders over 5 pairs. Make some notes for yourself. And then I also like to add in really good sales they have. So certain times of the year, like if they have a really good Labor Day sale, I'll be like killer 40% off Labor Day sale. So that I know that time of the year I can kind of sort through there. Or again, if you're ever bored, you don't have to go out and try and remember all these little boutiques. You have it all written down, and something you may have forgotten about, if you wouldn't have, you might be able to find.
That's phenomenal advice. Yeah, I think resellers specifically, especially when people are starting out, is they hate to have money sitting in the bank, and always this mindset where it's like money sitting in the bank is wasted or it's not working for you, and so that just leads to people just spending it right away or trying to buy shoes that they probably shouldn't. So I think it's great advice to wait for the right time to buy, because you might find that one link in the whole month, and that one link is driving most of your profit, or that one sale is driving most of your profit for the whole month. So I agree 100%. I'm gonna call up some questions from the chat to you, and we can just rapid fire. Adrian saying,
Okay.
"What's OA, online arbitrage?" Oliver saying, "What would be your top 2 to 3 tips for sourcing via OA at scale?" And this is actually a good question, and maybe a question I have for you as well is how you're doing this without any VAs, and why you're doing this without any VAs, especially at the level that you're doing it right now.
Yeah, great question. One of them is I've really put together a neat little, it's pretty inefficient, but it's good enough for me, system to to where I really don't run out. I run out of money before I run out of inventory all the time. And so now I'm at the point where I'm working on different lines of credit, loan options, stuff like that. But once I get a hold of that, I plan to expand towards like a VA to help me source that stuff. But I also want to get more into the wholesale side of things, and kind of I really got my good first experience of TikTok Shop on like one of the Mega Lives that is they like launched one of the SKUs I was kind of deep in. I was like, all right, this is pretty cool.
Which
Um,
one was it?
it was
Sorry to
the
interrupt.
pink Samba. It's like the ruffle. Uh,
Oh yeah.
you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah. Oh, and
Yeah,
just probably all went at once, right? It was
yeah.
just
All at once. I was like,
yeah,
holy.
yeah,
And because I don't really ever source for TikTok, it's nice when it lines up that's on TikTok.
yeah.
So that's one thing. But going back to like the 2 to 3 tips, I am very, I wouldn't, now, again, this works for me. It may not work for everybody. I don't go really deep into SKUs. Like there are so many SKUs I just have one of each size of and just a lot of them until I know it works, right? You can, of course, look at the data, see how often it's selling, make your guesses on that. But another thing too is please use the price search tool on every single purchase you make. There's no reason not to. If you're just like trying to run through it and you're like, oh, StockX is high, every other platform it could be losing 20%. Like there's no reason not to. And it's just StockX is going to follow shortly behind. So there's no need to guess. And then two, I won't go very deep until honestly I test it out a little bit myself, unless it's a no brainer. There are many no brainers out there, but a good example, I didn't know anything about the Samba Janes at all, and I saw a link in the group from Nordstrom. I was like, okay, I got like one or two of like four different sizes. I mean, sold out in like 24 hours. So I was like, all right. Saw the next link, bought as many as I could. So I'm like, all right, this thing's on to something. So that would be my advice, especially when you don't have as much capital, is really spread out your money and almost use it as like a learning tool to where you can see what's selling and you can eventually start to come to conclusions about new SKUs that launch, right? So if a Sama Jane comes out in a new, just random thought, but just orange color, it's probably going to do pretty good, even though there's no data on it yet. So really spread out your money and use it as a learning tool that you can sell. But yeah,
It's a good answer. It's a good answer. Those Samba Janes, by the way, if anyone is selling them, I desperately need one.
stupid.
So yeah, those are incredible. Um, okay, there's a lot of questions asking about ROI or margin, and then also turnover time. So what are you shooting for when you're analyzing a buy? How do you know if it's a good buy? What things do you look for?
Yeah, so I like to look at, I really only just use StockX's sales. I don't really go on like Alias and look through that or do any eBay hunting. But after doing this for so long, I have a really good gauge just in my head, kind of going back to what I said earlier on how long it's going to take me to sell. And one thing that makes me different from a lot of people is I will sit on some stuff for quite a while because I know it will sell and I'm not hurting to get that cash back as badly. But average, I like to look for when I'm sourcing OA, like 25, 30% kind of minimum, not necessarily, but just because by the time I get it, I can expect it to tank 10 to 15% at the worst. And so I like to give myself a little bit of buffer room, keep it around 25, 30, but it's great when it lines up towards, 60 to 100, which happens, sneak in a couple sales before too many people get on it. But that's kind of the ROI I look for. Sales turnaround. I'll buy something and make 5% on it if I know it's going to sell immediately. Now, if I'm going to sit on it for more than 3 days, I'll probably just hold out on it because by then the price will probably go under and I'll be losing money.
Mm, the most recent, what credit card are you using? Do you use, I'm assuming you're using credit card.
Yeah, so that's actually a really good question, and it's one thing I really like to talk about is I've had a really good relationship with my American Express account. So that's my go-to card because my limit is so high and they'll basically let me spend whatever I want on it. It took me a while to get it there, but I think American Express is good for high limits, but it's not the most rewarding. If you're looking for like rewards, I recently got the Capital One Business Inc., which is like 2% on all purchases, 2.5% over $5,000 purchases. So But I think I wanted to switch it because I have more American Express points than I know what to do with right now. And I'm like, all right, I need to start eating some of this cash back. Because then if you start, you think about it in that scale, it's huge. You start breaking even, but you're really not. You're making 2% because of your credit card rewards.
Yeah. I think there's three things you can optimize for the credit cards. It's either cashback points, which usually I'd say is for travel, and then the third one would just be the payback period. So our Amex Plum for the payback period, you can get the 60 days. So if you're a little bit more strapped for cash or you're buying stuff that's going to take a little bit longer, you can focus on that. Some people will focus just on the cashback, which I'll say primarily, I think most of the arbitrage guys who are spending heavy optimize for the cashback on the card. So yeah, the Chase, the Business Inc. That one I think is probably the highest with the 2.5 if you're going for that. There's I think it's a Capital One personal card or the Bank One personal card. I can't remember. You can get 4% back, but you have to keep 100K in the account at all
Bank of
times. They clip
America.
that. I don't think it was a Bank of America. It was Spencer knows what I'm talking about. Spencer, what bank was it? I can't remember what it was. US Bank. Thank you guys. Look at that. But it was like a personal account or whatever. But yeah, I think optimizing for the cashback is probably best for arbitrage, especially when the margins can be quite low.
I saw a
Okay,
question that I want to ask you,
go for it.
which is how where was that? Uh how long do you wait before you liquidate? And then kind of my follow-up question on this is if, and I guess it's a little different for you because you're there versus, well, not really, but essentially if I paid 70, 75 for something and I'm going to just average it out at, say I get $30 out of Whatnot, or is it worth it for me to pay add an extra $7 to $8 to my cost, ship it back to me, and then 2 months later for it to maybe sell on like eBay?
Yeah, and what would be the reason you would ship it back to yourself to sell on eBay though, versus
Uh,
just like
could still probably make, a little bit or at least recover all my money. It really is a stupid question. I think it's just a hard thing to overcome.
yeah.
What's your take on that?
I think it's an emotional question. Like I think it's just tough to do to eat the loss. I will say like I sit here and I'll like say like, oh, you need to liquidate and you need to turn. I'm the same as you guys. Like I feel the pain the same way you guys do. I'm not like emotionless. I'm not like a cold, completely analytical. Man, like selling that stuff and liquidating on whatnot is painful. Uh, so you just got to bite the bullet, I think. It's in my mind, it's not worth not only just the extra dollars to ship it back to you, but the you ship it back to you, it could just sit in your crib for a year or 2 years and not sell. So I prefer to just keep things moving. I also will say, Alex, that I'm a little bit different than you in the sense that you go wide in terms of SKU count and not as deep. I tend to go a little bit deeper, or not a little bit, like I tend to go very deep in a SKU and not buy that many SKUs. Um, that's like probably because I'm doing more wholesale, less arbitrage stuff. But yeah, I think it's a little bit different for me than it is for you, where um, I actually think having that many SKUs that as you, I think would stress me out a little bit. So maybe your tolerance for having more variety or slow moving stuff is better than mine. But yeah, I always lean on the side of just liquidate. And I think one on is good because it's a guaranteed sale. Like it's just about how high or how low. And so if you really want to just get rid of everything at once, it's a clean shot and you can get your funds back the next week. Um, what's your SKU count in Canada? It's a good question. Do you know?
SKU count, I have no idea. If I had a guess, probably over 2,000 SKU count.
Do you mind if I check for you live?
No, I could be totally wrong. Over a thousand. It's got to be over 1,000. You can look though.
GVMS,
Surely.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
See, I got it memorized. I actually have. You guys would be surprised. I have a lot of user IDs memorized. Oh my gosh, yeah, you have a lot. Uh, you got over 1,000, less than 1,500. So call it like
Okay.
1,200 SKUs. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
lot. That's a lot.
Fair amount. Yeah.
Yeah, Spencer, different SKUs.
Yeah.
Different SKUs. Someone says, Alex, can you open up consulting services? You might have a new business. Yeah, I am sweating looking at that, yo. I don't man, do you reprice like in by individual SKUs, or do you just go through and set everything
It
to
is.
on a
I go
bill?
from I set it to change it from 20 to page to 50 a page, and I work my way from page 1 to page 40 and do it.
That's
I tried to do it once a week. This was another thing. I had a couple like
mm,
just random tips I wanted to give out
yeah,
if
go
that's all
for
right.
it.
And one of them was to go through your inventory as often as possible and reprice it. Like, I mean, if you can do it every day, do it every day. It may not be necessary, maybe every 2, every 3 days. I try and do it once a week. I'm probably closer to like once every 3 weeks. But I'm trying to get that down. I need to get some. Jack's always giving me trouble. Shout out Jack if he's in here about how I need to get some more systems in place so I can clear up some time. Um, Another thing I had written down is especially in the early stages, because it's a lot easier if you're doing OA. It's much easier if you're doing a lot of wholesale to keep track of what you're ordering. But like you guys heard, I have a lot of different SKUs and I order a lot. Keep track of every item you order. Even if right now it's literally just opening a spreadsheet, typing out the SKU, the size, and the price, it really does not take all that long, especially when you're not ordering, a couple hundred a day. It's not that bad. And it'll honestly help you when stuff gets checked into your KNet account. You can just copy and paste the SKU, search it in your spreadsheet, and then you just immediately type in what you paid versus trying to track down an email or something like that. Um, Another one is utilize your account managers. They are here to help you. And they may hate me some days, other days I'm pretty quiet. I'll text late at night. Usually they're on do not disturb, and you won't wake up anyways. But they're here to help you and build a good relationship with them. A lot of times, something's not going wrong. It's not their fault, and they're trying to help you. And so, a good example, I have a really good relationship with Fong and Jack, is who I work with. Fong texted me earlier today about a SKU I was ordering like repeatedly, like I'd sell out a few of them from the same retailer. And he texted me today. He said, "Hey, don't buy any more of this SKU for the time being. We've been receiving lots of them with oxidation. Like all of them are defective." So he's saving me. He's looking out for me, saving me money because I'm always in the loop with him and I keep a good relationship. Like they're on your team. So really utilize them. Don't annoy them, but they're super helpful and they have access to way more data than we do. So seriously take the time to, maybe if you get the chance to talk to them, explain where you're at and where you want to go, and they might be able to give you some cool tips on how to get that done. Um, and then another thing, kind of random, but is just don't turn off any sales channels. I honestly learned this from the last seminar we did. And even if you're aiming to sell it on like just TikTok, you never know if one of those other channels will spike up. It's so you're wasting more time turning it off than if you just left it on. There's zero reason, and especially come Q4, these prices are going to jump up, down, up, down, up, down. So just leave them on, set your minimums, and yeah, that's kind of some of the tips that I had.
That's great advice. I'm gonna back you on the account manager point. I'm sure you guys, if you guys have had any issues, your account manager is the one who's coming either to me or to someone else on the team and is fighting for you guys. And I promise you, if I mean if you have a good relationship with them, they're gonna really fight for you. And I see it in our Slack. I see them fighting for some of you guys day in and day out, and they're getting yelled at by whoever, by ops, by finance, by brand protection, whatever, right? And they're just gonna keep fighting for you if they actually believe in you. And there's a lot of things that they can get for you guys that if you don't have a good relationship with them, it's gonna be much harder. So build that relationship, build that trust with them, and then the next time you need anything from them, I promise you, they can really push for it. They have direct access to myself, to everyone else on the team. So if you need anything, if you need any special cases, I mean, I have countless examples of like sellers who need things that we don't typically offer. But if you have a good relationship, we're gonna help you out. Maybe we're gonna waive this fee, right? Or maybe like you said, like there's a pair that we're seeing internally is coming in, it's oxidized or it's whatever, and they'll give you that tip, right? I promise you, Fong is not texting everybody saying, "Hey, this SKU is oxidized." Um, so yeah, please build the relationship with the account managers, and I'll say don't worry about uh, bugging them. I think. I apologize, boys, if you guys are listening, but don't worry about bugging them. They're here for you guys. This is what they're supposed to do. They'd rather you be communicating with them than not communicating at all. So don't worry about asking too many questions or blowing up their phone. Um, and for most of you guys, they probably have like scheduled either weekly or bi-weekly calls with you guys. Use these calls, right? Don't uh, we deal with every platform. So we have account managers on every platform. So we know what things are good with account managers, what things are bad with account managers. The goal with our account management and our strategies, we want them to act as almost like consultants to you guys, business consultants to you guys. They really want to understand your business well. And the more you can share with them, the more that they can help you. Again, they have direct access to everyone on our internal team. So if you're looking to get into uh, pretty much anything within sneakers, maybe they can make an intro to you, right? Or maybe you're looking to get connected with some other seller in the space, they can make that intro to you. Or you're looking to get into wholesale, they can help you with that. They can maybe not give you the wholesale connections, but they can teach you how to build the wholesale connections, right? They know pretty much everything that we know. So leverage that as much as you can. And if there's ever any feedback you have where it's like, you wish the account management did this or did that, feel free to offer it. There's no risk of them taking it the wrong way or whatever. Everyone's very receptive to feedback. So if there's anything you want to see or there's anything more that you need from them, saying, hey, like, hey Jack, like you're not going to bat for me enough. Like I need you to really push for me. Share that and share that feedback with them, and I promise you, they'll be receptive. All right, what else we got, guys? How many retailers would you say you source from? This is a good question. I'm curious, actually.
Uh, on a regular basis, I would say 30, 40. But again, I'm open to, I mean, I've ordered from hundreds. One thing that has been a little iffy, and it's kind of bad because I recently started to utilize it a lot more, was these overseas retailers. But and I'm in the same boat as probably most of you. I really don't understand it and I don't really know my risks. I haven't done my due diligence to do my research and see if I can or not. Like, what are the rules on if I order from, I'm not going to say any
Yeah,
names, but you can
yeah,
put
yeah.
together.
Yeah, so this is it's a good topic, the international stuff. It's an interesting topic, I'll say. All we ask from you guys is that you're not listing us as the importer, or you're not putting us in the billing address. There have been some of you who have put us as the billing address, and I mean, let me just show you this real quick. This was today. I get handed a pile every afternoon of bills from your guys' stuff, from FedEx and from UPS. So um, I love you
Crazy.
guys. I love you guys, but I'm sick of it. I'm like the bill guy now. I just get handed this every day and I have to go through it. So yeah, all countries are subject to it. I just make sure that you're putting yourself on the billing address. You can use this for shipping address. We're fine to receive the packages. We just don't want to be held liable for the charges. So please don't. I will say we're like pretty strict on it just because we don't want to get like a huge bill and have to be to pay it. So uh, make sure that you're switching it. Your account can get shut down. We will ban you if you're abusing that. Um, are you seeing retailers banning accounts or canceling orders for using Canon warehouse as shipping address? Same thing as US. There's some that are stricter than others, but for almost all, you can work around it. And even you can go to your account manager, and this is the same thing. Like if you have a good relationship with your account manager, there's I think 11 now addresses you can ship to. Alex, I don't know if you just shipped to the Jersey ones, but there's 11
Yeah.
addresses that you can ship to. So you can get your way around these retailer bans, but um, yeah, it's site by site. Jack says, has overseas wholesale dropped drastically since tariffs? Yes, but I'll also say that people are creative, and there's like three scenarios, right? There's three types of overseas sellers. First, it's the small guys who weren't pushing that much weight to begin with. These guys have stopped. They just they quit, they went extinct, right? They're finished. The second group are the people who had businesses that were too big to stop, right? They have their operations, they have their team, they have their employees, they have their setup. They do this full time, they depend on this. They've found a way to handle logistics, right? Some of them are doing it the right way, some of them aren't doing it the right way. But they've found a way to get product into the US. And the third, I'll say, are the creatives who don't let policy get in their way. And this is not something that we will ever recommend. But I'll say that I think everyone knows that people find a way. Specifically, a lot of the Asian sellers are quite creative. Um, but yes, wholesale has gotten tougher. Wholesale has definitely gotten tougher. Martin says, does it matter what warehouse you ship to? Not really. Uh, Not really. I just know some of you guys, you require multiple addresses. Maybe it's one retailer is banned NJ1, so you got to ship to NJ2 for this retailer. So it doesn't really matter. It's site by site. Guys, we're 3 minutes over, but any last minute questions? I feel we could probably stay on for like 3 hours and have enough questions, but
Yeah.
any last minute questions that you guys want to ask to myself or to Alex? Any recommendations? Again, any problems with the platforms? Anything you want us to see bring to the platform? Anything you guys want at all? Thank you, Oliver. What's the new platform? Stadium Goods. Stadium Goods will be the new one. I'm actually pretty excited for that. I think it's the perfect cross-listing platform. Stadium Goods. Because Stadium Goods, if you guys know, they cross list internally. So it's actually a three for one. We get Stadium Goods, we get Farfetch, and we get Amazon all through Stadium Goods. So we're adding like three new channels. Yeah, that's pretty cool. When will you guys put the new platform on the portal? The hope is late October, early November. Sales data, I got you. We'll make the push for it. Ethan's asking Alex recommendations for Q4. Yeah, what's your strategy? We can wrap up with this. Strategy for
Um,
Q4. What are you doing differently that you're not doing in Q1, Q2?
sure. So every year I get more, each year I get more and more excited because I feel like I've put myself in a better position. Right now is the time to spend it because if you guys, another important note is read the emails that KNet sends out, set up a filter to where it flags it. Make sure you read them. They have a ton of good stuff in them every time. So pay attention to those. But one of them came out and said, you know, stuff will dry up come November and December. When it's hot, there's not going to be too much to buy. So stock up now. I know it's a little painful because, not as much is coming in, especially coming off August. It's like, it's not coming in like it used to, which is another good side note. Don't get discouraged on your bad days. Across the board, we all have them. But right now, I'm just loading up on as much inventory as I can. I'm still trying to get rid of some old stale stuff. I saw a message about that earlier. I do have quite a bit of stale stuff with having so many different SKUs. But right now, it's just load up. And then one thing I'm definitely going to prioritize come November and December is going to be going through all my inventory and repricing it at least once a week, maybe twice a week, because you do not want to be sitting on stuff that you could have very easily gone on your computer and taken 15 minutes to reprice it. So that's kind of my strategy. But yeah, what about you, Dejan? What are you doing?
Yeah, I think for me this year, I started buying much earlier for Q4, just getting stuff ready. So like the example, like this was our last YouTube video, but the Uggs this year, I bought them in January, waiting for them to come in August, September, October, right? So just getting ready earlier. I think again, every year you have a better idea of what you can go deep and what you can't, and you can start to prepare a little bit earlier. Um, the other thing that I'll throw out there is that I think every year, no matter how much you prepare, you always wish you bought more, or you always wish you went deeper. And every year, no matter how many times you do it, I always wish I bought more Uggs. I always wish I bought more Timberlands. I always wish I bought more of these hot holiday skis. So I'll say go deeper than what you think you should be going into. This is the time to spend. And then also, uh, you don't want to just buy now and then just call it quits. Make sure that you're managing your cash flow to the point where you can actually rebuy. Like the goal is you can buy twice in that December period. So you can buy again maybe like the first week of December when you start to get the sales rolling in, and then you can buy stuff quick enough to where you can get it back in, and then you can sell it before the rush ends. So something we do is like, and this is only really possible with wholesale. You can play it a little bit with credit, where you can time the cycle properly to where you can buy twice, right? And you have that extra time to sell through. But with wholesale, with a lot of these deals, we're buying it in advance, right? And so maybe the shoes arrive like December 1st. They ship December 1st. And so we'll either put the deposit down now and we'll just bank. And we have the funds, but let's say in the hypothetical world we only had $100,000, right? We'll spend all the 100,000 right now, and then we'll have $100,000 of inventory coming in. Let's call it December 1st, right? So we're expecting the money to come back in, right? And then we already have the deal lined up because we were expecting to sell through. So this can get a little bit riskier depending on how much capital you have to play around with, but this is like my big strategy for this year. I think I just started buying a lot earlier, and I have, man, I got a lot of shoes that I'm committed to for the rest of this year that are going to be coming in. So, um, yeah, guys, now's the time. You only. I also want to say this, and this is something that I'm stressing to the entire team, is that you only get one Q4. Like we work so hard the whole year for these damn 2 months. Like really, these 2 months are like the whole year for us. So don't miss the chance. Don't let the opportunity go by. Because then you got to wait another 10 months for it, and it's a long 10 months waiting for Christmas. So yeah, go deeper, lock in. Yeah, Spencer, lock in. You specifically, Spencer, I think need to get your numbers up. But yeah. I think it's gonna be a phenomenal Q4. Black Friday is gonna be a day for Kenneth. Yeah. And to be honest, the whole of Black Friday through Christmas is gonna be crazy. So, all right, guys. Can everyone just say thank you to Alex for doing this? He does not need to do this, and he's coming on and he's giving tips to other people who are selling on the same platform as him. And I think everyone can appreciate it was not just like Q&A. Alex, you gave great advice, great tips that I think everyone can learn from. Um, Look at that.
Well, thank you
Yeah.
very much for having me. I hope you guys got something out of it. I try to, everybody's got the super secrets up their sleeve, but I try to give out what I can. I know DP does the
Yeah.
same thing. Um,
Open
but
book, man.
seriously,
Open book.
thank you for letting me come on here. It's nice to formally meet you, and I'm sure we'll keep in touch for sure.
100%. Yeah, and I'll close off by just giving a thank you to everyone again. Really, it's pretty cool to see everyone start to get their numbers up on the platform, and I hope it's helping. I hope Ken it's helping. I hope it's helping your business. I hope it's helping you guys scale. And so if there's ever anything that you guys need, again, if there's something you think is wrong with the platform, something you think could be improved, or even like if you just gotta like talk to someone, like really, like we're here for you. We're here to serve this community. Again, not to keep talking about other platforms, but uh, the people running these other platforms, they're so far removed from the game. They're so far removed from the reselling culture. And part of that is that they're more focused on the consumer. They're more focused on the D2C side, less on the supply side. But yo, like I came up with a lot, like I'm seeing these names in the chat. Like I came up with a lot of you guys. And this is like the culture that we're here to serve. We're here to serve the resellers. We're not here to serve the customers. I couldn't give two shits about the customers, right? This is who we're here to help. And so yeah, if there's anything that you guys need, our whole team is here to serve you guys. So I'll thank you guys for trusting us with your business, and I hope we can continue to deliver for you guys. Okay. All right, guys. This has been good. Alex, thank you again. I
Thank
think
you.
we recorded this one, so if anyone wants to watch it back, we'll drop it somewhere, and you guys can check it out. Okay. All right,
Beautiful.
guys. Happy Thursday. We'll be in touch, okay? Peace, guys.